Hello everyone, I'm Kushin. I'm in the tutorial for Group 2. In this video, me, Pamela, Dell, and Janice, our group will be discussing the event management project. In this presentation, we would cover these areas of the project. First, I will be present the overview of the event management system project scope statement, project deliverables and milestones, dependencies and limits. For this project, our primary goal is to plan, organize, and execute a memorable event. The project is estimated to cost about $750,000 and take 6 months to complete. We have several key milestones along the way, such as initiation, venue selection, program development, and more. Moving on to the scope of our project, our primary business objective is to develop an event management system for FECO's upcoming 4-day concert. Currently, FECO lacks of a system to manage large-scale events efficiently. Our solution, upon successful delivery, could potentially open doors for future business arrangements. Some assumptions to note are that the final version of the EMS will be ready by the end of November 2023. The venue is the Hyde Park Barracks, and the final budget stands at $750,000. Our project deliverables include the project management briefing report, the EMS system, and the proposal for a long-term partnership offer. In terms of milestones, we have several key steps, including finalizing the project scope, submitting a preliminary report, obtaining approval from FECO to proceed, and developing the EMS. For our project to succeed, there are certain dependencies and limits we need to consider. Internally, we depend on developing an information systems architecture, tools, and methodologies, modernizing facilities, and updating infrastructures. Externally, we rely on FECO's approval and experienced consulting group resources for EMS development. As for limits, the EMS must be ready by the end of November 2023, and the project should remain cost-effective, and no subcontracting will be allowed without the necessary approvals. Thank you. That is the end of my part. Next, please welcome my teammate to present the stakeholder management strategy and the communication plan.
Hello, Professor. My name is Dale Chelsea Ross with student ID 24684490, a member of Tutorial 4 Group 2. I will be presenting the section Stakeholder Management and Stakeholder Communication Plan, as well as the costs. The stakeholder management can be an individual or a group that has a certain interest in project, program, or an organization. Stakeholders could be employees, the management, and the shareholders. It can also include external shareholders like the customers. An effective stakeholder management involves identifying and prioritizing the stakeholders, developing a plan to keep them updated, and addressing their concerns. A stakeholder prioritization grid summarizes the stakeholders' priorities and handling capabilities. From low to high, the grid is represented as power versus interest. It helps determine whether the highest precedence should be set. For the project event management system, the stakeholders include the client, which is the primary stakeholder, as their satisfaction with the event will determine whether they become repeated customers and/or recommend the planning committee to others. The attendees, another essential stakeholder that determines the event's success by the engagement and participation. Hence, the need and preferences must be a priority while planning the event. Sponsors. Sponsors are a vital source of funding for a successful event. Sponsors have an upper hand when it comes to priority, as they provide financial support, enhanced credibility, expanded reach, access to resources, networking, and partnership opportunities. Venue providers are responsible for providing the location of the event. The satisfaction is critical to ensure the event success. The service providers. They are the caterers, the audiovisual technicians, and event staff. They are crucial for a successful event, as their ability to deliver quality services will impact the event success. Stakeholder communication plan. A stakeholder communication plan is a strategy developed by an organization to better connect with its stakeholders and to assess their feedback regarding major projects on the company's agenda. The communication plan for the above stakeholders can be explained through their needs, the communication methods, frequency, and responsibilities as shown in the diagram below. Costs. What do you mean by costs? Costs give an explanation or an estimation of the amount required for a project's completion, so we gain proper financial support from our clients and sponsors. Managing costs allow for better resource allocation, accurate financial forecasting, and higher profitability. Here is a cost summary table that gives a general estimate of the financial support required for the completion of the project. It is categorized into general and administrative costs and the overhead. The S-curve visually represents the gradual increase in cumulative costs through the project's duration. The cumulative cost column reflects the accumulation of the total costs including the overhead costs up to each point in time. Therefore, we have plotted a time versus the cumulative cost graph as an S-curve. Thank you.
In this section of my presentation, I'll be taking us through network diagram and resource management. My name is Pamela Chukwemeka. Considering the network diagram in project management, I'll be quickly walking us through the rationale for network diagram, project task list with estimate, network diagram, and the Gantt chart. The network diagram actually helps to visually depict task interdependencies and connections. It also helps project managers understand the project timeline, the critical path, and overall structure. Some benefits of using the network diagram for a project like the event management system is that it helps to break down interdependencies, ordering of activities sequentially, and also identifying critical activities. We consider another component or key part of creating a network diagram, and that's the project task list. The project task list is a comprehensive inventory of all individual tasks or activities required for project completion. While there might be several components of a project task list, we considered using the task ID, preceding task ID, following task ID, and task name columns to be able to come up with our project task list. We looked at the task list with estimate, and this is another template which actually is very valuable for project management, effective planning, and execution. In this case, it provides a detailed estimate or breakdown of project tasks along with estimated duration or effort required. Considering our network diagram, we were able to work or create a network diagram using the Microsoft project. Every network diagram shows the different key tasks in the project. And for each of the tasks, we're able to see the task ID, the task name, the resource assigned to the task, the start date, the end date, and also the duration of the task. On the critical path, it represents the longest sequence of dependent tasks that determines the project duration. Now, by identifying the critical path in the network diagram, the project manager can actually focus on the task that has the most significant impact on the project's timeline. On our Gantt chart, we were able to also use the Microsoft project to create a Gantt chart. The Gantt chart encompasses components like your task ID, the task name, the start date, the end date, the dependencies, the resources that are required to work on the project. Considering resource management in projects, we looked at the human resources and also non-human resource, and we're also able to use the Microsoft project to look at leveling and utilization of our resources. Resource management plays a very critical role in project success, and some benefits of the resource management will include improved project planning, enhanced resource allocation, and efficient budget management. While identifying the human resource, we were able to identify for each task the human resources needed. Take, for example, the project planning. In the project planning phase, where you had to define project scope, we had the project manager playing a critical part as a resource for that particular activity. And on the resource list for non-human resources, we broke down the non-human resources into project equipment, materials, technology, facilities, financial resource, and also project documentation. Take, for example, in the project planning phase, the project documentation templates also represent a non-human resource, just as computers can also be classified as an equipment in the non-human resource. And finally is the leveling and utilization of human resource, which is essential for balancing workloads and optimizing resource utilization. In order to achieve a view as to how leveling and utilization of human resources work, we used the Microsoft project and looked at a key resource, and that is the project manager. The first graph depicts the initial utilization of the project manager, and when leveled, the second graph actually depicts the leveling of the project manager. Thank you.
My name is Janice Riona Mendes, bearing the student ID 24669071 from group number 2 tutorial 4. I will be presenting on the topic risk management. In order to assure effective completion of a project, it is crucial to navigate the ups and downs that every project in any organization experiences. Because of this, the risk management phase of project management is crucial. Risk management is of paramount importance in the realm of event management. Risk management involves a broad spectrum of activities that include assessing and mitigating potential risks that could jeopardize successful completion of the project. There are several reasons why risk management is important. Firstly, from the beginning to the completion of the project, it is essential to identify potential risks and create ways to reduce them. Secondly, with the awareness of potential risks, the team can allocate the resources where they are needed the most. Thirdly, risk analysis makes sure that the project is always in line with the stakeholder expectation, the projected budget, and the expected level of quality. A risk register is a form of documentation that is used to identify the potential risks involved in a project. Below are the potential risks along with their mitigation strategies. Firstly, we have technical issues leading to delays in app development. A strategy that could be used is the development of a detailed technical plan, utilization of agile methodologies, and scheduling regular progress tracking. Secondly, inadequate user acceptance, which can be worked out by conducting regular user testing and feedback, incorporating user-centered design principles. Thirdly, security breaches, which can be worked out by implementing robust security protocols, conduction of regular security testing, providing security training to the development team. Next, we have lack of required skills in the development team, which could be worked out by conducting skill gap analysis, providing necessary training, consider hiring or outsourcing if required. Next, we have insufficient budget to complete the project, which could be worked out by careful budget planning, regular budget reviewing, secure additional funding if necessary. Next, we have regulatory compliance issues, which could be worked out by conducting regular compliance checks, keep updated with regulatory changes, provide compliance training to the team. Lastly, poor app performance or reliability, which could be worked by implementing strict quality control, regular performance, and reliability testing. A risk treatment plan is a form of documentation that involves every risk outlined in detail, along with the action steps for mitigating the risk and monitoring and reviewing process. Firstly, we have technical issues leading to delays in app development, which could be mitigated by weekly technical meetings to review progress and address technical issues. Next, we have inadequate user acceptance, which could be mitigated by regular user feedback sessions and updates based on those feedback. Next, we have security breaches, which could be prevented by regular security audits and penetration testing. Next, we have lack of required skills in the development team, which could be mitigated by regular team skill assessments and training sessions. Next, we have insufficient budget to complete the project, which could be avoided by monthly budget reviews and adjustments based on project needs. Next, we have regulatory compliance issues, which could be prevented by quarterly compliance reviews and updates based on regulatory changes. Lastly, we have poor app performance or reliability, which could be mitigated by ongoing app performance monitoring and immediate action on identified issues. As risk management is an ongoing process, it is used constantly to monitor, evaluate, and document the activities involved. Keeping all of this in mind, with continuous documentation, we can reach the successful completion of a project. Thank you.